We're working on diversifying old fields, restoring old fields, this week on Landbeat. So the last time you saw this spot, it was chocked full of 10 to 15 foot tall cedars. So thick you could barely walk through there. You've seen it from the sky, you've seen it from the forest floor. You knew that it was thick, full of eastern red cedar. We talked about restoring this old field to bring it back to a more productive area for wildlife. This is a very common practice that landowners will do when purchasing a farm or continuing to develop their farm. We find areas we want to make a food plot, or we find areas we want to fix it, take off all the junk or all the brush, and then put in a food plot or something else. So I'm going to walk you through now that we've ripped the cedars out, and you can see that it actually looks like a field. Unfortunately, in the process of trying to restore this field, we found lots of Sericea lespedeza and multiflora rose, two invasive species for this area as well as much of the Midwest. So with that being said, if our goal was to turn this into a productive wildflower or pollinator state, we would still need to use herbicide throughout the growing season to control some of these invasives to prepare for flowers and the pollinator species later on to be planted. But we had the goal here at the Woodlands, this farm, to have a great food plot as well as a diverse native species for other species that aren't target animals like deer and turkey. So we're wanting to manage this for all the native species here. So instead of making this entire area food plot, we're going to turn it into partial food plot with a band around it, the whole perimeter being in diverse natives. But because of the invasive species, we're addressing it with herbicide, a Roundup Ready soybean throughout this summer months, throughout the growing season. And then this winter we'll return once we've controlled a lot of the invasives and plant our pollinators around the edge. So we'll have a great buffer, great food plot, and a great landscape for all kinds of wildlife. One thing to consider if you are a landowner are cost share opportunities, both through federal programs like NRCS EQIP programs or through state cost share. Some states offer state fund pools. Like here in Missouri, we have state funding, and this was actually part of a state-funded project of old field restoration. What that looked like was signing up to restore an old field. There were certain stipulations like bat migrations and the equipment used, but we were able to use cost share to help partially fund this restoration project. So it's not going to, most of the time these are not going to pay for the entire project. It's called cost share, not fully funded programs from the state or federal. So it's a way to help offset some of the costs or help lower the costs to make this restoration happen. So always look into it for your state, and if it is a possibility, consider the options of using that so you can restore old fields and all kinds of other places with all kinds of programs that they offer.